Hello, Facebook. We're getting live right now. And we're going to start with this special conversation with Mr. Clark. Get the viewers coming in. We got a huge announcement. I want to get out the way. Amen. Because it's very important that we get our announcements out. All right. And thank you for everybody watching, tuning in. Appreciate it. Give me some time. Give me a few seconds to get us ready. How's everybody doing? Big news. Big news that I'm excited for. I think you all should be excited for as well. March 18th, 2022. The first ever Families United for Justice, Impacted Families United for Justice and Accountability March here at the state capitol. And I'm so excited about that because we're bringing together families that have been impacted. We're bringing together activists. We're bringing together special people that have been supporting the movement since day one. Yes, justice for Stephon Clark. Justice for Stephon Clark. My dear brother, as you all know, may his name and his life and legacy live in a positive light for generations after you and I have left this earth. This march will actually be on the death date of the anniversary of Stephon, when my dear brother Stephon Clark was assassinated. So it's very important to us. Another thing I wanted to bring up to light is that, and I say this all the time, solidarity without organization is useless. Just like, yes, justice for Stephon Clark, you know it. So transparency without accountability means nothing. It's also the Stephon Clark Day of Reflection. That's right, Mama Clark. That was known and known officially by the city of Sacramento, who's announced that and partaken in that. So I want to thank the city of my vein especially for that. You know, if she didn't do nothing, if she ain't done nothing else, she gave us the Stephon Clark Day of Reflection. Yeah, we're going to talk about that 14-year-old girl. We're going to talk about her. We definitely are going to talk about her. But right now, I just want to do a little bit of announcements for you guys. I want to let you guys know that on January 1st at the Fruitvale BART station, write this down in your calendars. Everybody get your calendars out, your iPhones. January 1st at the Fruitvale BART station from noon to 4, it will be the the 13th anniversary for Oscar Grant. So I want everybody to go out there and support Mama Johnson. She is the mother of Oscar Grant. And also I want you guys to all go out there and support the entire family of Oscar Grant. This event will be hosted by Stephen Parker. All of you guys are familiar with Stephen, but he's amazing, okay? A great guy, a brother of the movement. Rest in peace, Oscar Grant. And the reason we do the work that we do is to prevent Oscar Grants, to prevent Stephon Clarks, to prevent Emmett Till's, George Floyd's, so on and so forth from happening. That's why we do the work that we do. And we can't do this work if we don't have your support. We can't do this work without your let me see. Sorry, you guys. These messages are flowing in, but we do this work to prevent those that we have been that have been stolen from us from ever happening again. Another thing we do this for is simply the movement. You know, if we don't do it, who will? And I appreciate it, Latrice, for the appreciation. That love is unconditional, and we appreciate that on all levels. And if you guys are not with the movement, like I said, you are with the moment, and we don't need that. We need solidarity. We need organization. We need transparency. We need accountability. The next event, other than January 1st, the next event we have is is going to be here at Stefan's house, and that event will be um, the January 17th. There's another one January. Let's start with January 9th. So January 9th is Law Enforcement Appreciation Day. Okay. I know everybody's like, well, oh my goodness, Law Enforcement Appreciation Day. We don't support law enforcement. We're not with that. Yeah, but we got to bridge these gaps. Okay, you guys. And this conversation I'm having with law enforcement at Stefan's house on Stefan Clark Sunday will be about justice and accountability. It'll be free entry. It'll be a few guest speakers. It'll be good food. I have a few vendors there. But it'll be at 3 p.m. on January 9th at Stefan's house. I have Sheriff Jim Barnes come in. He's the guy running for sheriff, and he's also deputy sheriff. He runs the county jail and everything. He will be here doing a face-to-face with Stevante Clark here at Stefan's house, actively bridging the gap. Actively bridging the gap. How powerful. You got the sheriff's department, which I've never had a conversation. I've had a conversation with the chief of police, Danny Boy, but I've never had a conversation with the sheriff's department. So at Stefan's house, the sheriff's department will be in Stefan's house, and I'll be going at them like how I go at everybody, with actionable items. And hopefully they're ready, they're prepared. I know they are. It's Law Enforcement Appreciation Day that day, so we'll be honoring Natalie Corona. And it's Stefan Clark Sundays. And what better way to start the year with letting people know we're not anti-law enforcement. We're not anti-police. We're anti-police terrorism. We're anti-police brutality. We're anti-police militarism. We are anti-police corruption. We are anti-hate. We are with love, solidarity, justice, and accountability on not some levels, but all levels. So, so we're gonna our second event we have will be January 17th here at Stefan's house as well. This will be a Martin Luther King Jr. Day dinner, a life and legacy dinner with special performances, music, vendors, speakers, and food, the whole shebang, of course. And this is a way to really honor the life and legacy of Dr. King. Dr. King is, if in the activism world, Dr. King is the guy. He's like the Jay-Z. He's the Magic Johnson. He's the Bill Russell, Dr. Guy. I haven't met anybody that does this line of work that I do that have not quoted Dr. King in some way, shape, And Dr. King says this. He says, my dream is slowly turning into a nightmare. So we gotta flip that, you guys. Oakland, for instance, had its most deadliest year this year since 2017, 2006 or 17, which is a long time ago, no matter what time, but if we don't stop killing each other, if we don't honor the legacy of Dr. King, if we're not out there trying to bridge the gap actively, we cannot expect them to quit killing us like dogs. Okay. The next event we have is the Stefan Clark Sundays back here at Stefan's house, and that will be on January 23rd. So every Sunday, we will be at Stefan's house from now on in person. Okay. So every Sunday at 3 p.m. after your football, after your church, after your whatever you do on your Sundays, I don't care if you're resting, if you're not doing nothing, come on down to Stefan's, get some free edutainment, some free food, get some space and chill, relax. That is what we do at Stefan's. So that's what we're going to remain doing at Stefan's. And till I die, and after I die, that will still be the goal, to commemorate lives and legacies in a positive light. Now, as you all know, this work, you can't do it alone. You cannot do this work alone. You can't. Even if you wanted to, you just can't. It's just not going to happen. So the Justice and Accountability March, we need your help. Go to imsacfoundation@gmail.com. Send us a direct message on which team you want to be a part of, whether it's marketing, whether it's logistics, whether it's phone banking, because we need phone bankers too. Whatever it is that you could do, please, please, please go to imsacevents.org and become a member, number one. But to be a part of the march, what I need you all to do, because I need everybody to be a part of this. This is a movement, not a moment. The problem is a lot of y'all, let me stop. Okay, because I'm going to say something. Foundation at gmail.com. So what I was going to say, I'm going to say it anyway, is a lot of y'all don't want to join the movement until you're being directly affected. And that's the problem. It shouldn't have to take you being directly affected to save a life, to care about your community. How much money you give Netflix? How much money you out there giving to Hulu and Spotify and YouTube Premium? You paying for all this shit you don't even use, but when it comes to becoming a member, oh, you know where to be found. This march is the first ever families impacted march. Okay, the Impacted Families United for Justice March. This I'm doing this with the family of Oscar Grant. Uncle Bobby's helping me do this, and if you know Uncle Bobby, you know Uncle Bobby puts the work in. And we're not trying to waste nobody's time because we love everybody, but but at the same time we need everybody help. There's no reason why. The people cannot be united. There's no reason why us as a people cannot be united. This march I'm doing, this Justice and Accountability March, it will be all day, okay? And the goal is to have over 300 families here. Not only 300 families, but also have the voices of the movement here. The Al Sharptons, the Sean Kings. Sean King has agreed to be here. Al Sharpton, of course, will be here. Benjamin Crump will be here. Attorney Lee Merritt will be here. We're reaching out still to Dr. King III, and we're still reaching out to Cornel West and the rest of those guys. Excuse me. But we can't do it if y'all not actively becoming members or going to that Gmail. imsacfoundation@gmail. Everybody should go in there and not only find out what you can do and how you can help, but become a member. Because your time is worth more than your money, especially if we're going to be investing in our communities. I'd rather invest my time in my community than my money. But I'm going to do both. But if I had to choose, I'd rather invest the time teaching, educating, informing, bridging gaps, healing, dealing with the trauma, therapy, solutions. We have backed away from spending our time with the community and these people. Nowadays, you want to get a kid to be quiet, you just hand them a damn iPad or something and they quiet. We've taken, I grew up in the projects, of course, and when I grew up, I remember thinking, I see all the other parents go to school and then they would say, all the kids go to school and they would say, oh, well, how was school? What'd you learn at school today? How was school? Whatever. When I went home, the questions, were the same thing, but it was, what do you want to do? I was pushed to make music because my family knew I loved music. Is what do you want to do? How do we help you? My mother got me a microphone for Christmas, I believe, on my birthday. It was a Blue Snowball microphone. And I made over 10,000 songs with that microphone, at least 5,000, 10,000 songs, at least, with just random people from out the community, people who came from out of state, myself personally. I made so many records because my mother sowed that seed into my life. Instead of just trying to spend money on a damn tablet, she said, what do you want to do? And let me help you do that. What good questions are these kids asking at school? What are we doing? What are we teaching our babies? This Justice and Accountability March will teach them to unite because we're doing it every year. We are doing this every year. So if we're doing it every year and we're uniting people every year, I think everybody should be on board with that. I mean, I think it's a good platform for everybody. And I think if we don't come together in that realm, then we have failed our children. And I'm not failing my kids. I'm not failing these babies, because they've been failed too long. They've been failed. They've been let down too long. They've been ridiculed too long. You can't be telling these kids they not shit. You can't be telling these kids they just like their daddies. You can't be influencing these kids to do wrong and be around gangbangers and listen to the gang music and the gang culture. They're gonna die on the streets, or they're gonna end up in jail, or end up fucked up in these streets. Don't get mad at me, okay, guys? Don't get mad at me. I'm not the bad guy here. I have no children. I have 0 kids, 0 wife, no married, no kids, no nada. This is not my responsibility to be trying to bridge the gap. And I started this some years ago. The work I do now, I started doing this the day Stefan died. Okay. The day my brother died, I jumped into action. I didn't just jump into the mayor's desk. I jumped into action. Okay. A lot of people, they talk about it, but they don't be about it until they've been directly affected. I didn't just lose one brother. I lost 2 brothers and a sister. George Floyd here woke my ass up. Woke my ass up. That's why I fight. That's why when George Floyd passed away, it was like Stephon Clark passed away all over again. I was even, and people just don't get it. I was one time, I was in a bar, and because sometimes I like some white wine, amen. And the guy told me, he said, "Oh, you're Stephon Clark's brother, huh?" I go, yeah, I'm Stephon Clark's brother. He said, "Oh, that's old news. Stephon, that's old news." He called my brother old news. That's the mentality of these sick individuals. These sick people sometimes got that mentality, that evil spirited. It might feel like old news for you, but for me, it happened yesterday. For a lot of these families that have been impacted, it happened yesterday. Yes, everybody love everybody. Damn right. That's our story, and we sticking to it, huh? But it happened yesterday. Imagine the family of George Floyd. I can imagine it feels like it happened yesterday as well. You have to understand that even though George Floyd was assassinated and all types of money came to these movements and all types of people got fat and all types of foundations and organizations got started, keep in mind that the George Floyd Policing Act still has not passed. Huh? There has been no justice and accountability for the life and legacy of George Floyd. And that's because people are with the movement. Nah, they with the moment and not the movement. Can you imagine if we got together as a one and fought for his life when it comes to policy and legislative change, the way we went out there and protested in 2020, in the summer of 2020? Can you imagine how we could have curved these numbers? Huh? You guys shy away. You shy away from it. You scared to talk about it. You don't do nothing on the front lines. I'm sitting here telling you right now, that if you keep talking about it, not being about it, it's going to keep happening. Every year, nearly 1,000 people get killed by law enforcement. Our job and our goal with this Justice and Accountability March is to curve those numbers, to bring all those families together and say, you know what? You're going to fuck around and and start a goddamn de-escalation tactical team with just nothing but families in it, a restoration team, because we tired of calling police and we end up calling our killers. We're tired of relying on 911 that has no type of relationship with our communities. The definition of community policing is policing and knowing the community that you're in. How can you police in a community you don't know shit about? How can you be law and order when you are serving, protecting and serving a people you are afraid of? Huh? The same shit that make you laugh will make you cry. That's something my mother taught me. That's a life lesson from Mama Clark. The same shit that made, and Mama Clark has taught me a lot of these things has helped me within the movement. These are, I'm going to call these life hacks, okay? Same shit that make you laugh will make you cry. Hard head make a soft ass. If you knew better, you do better. You know, hurt people hurt people. Either you're part of the solution or you're part of the problem. These are things we grew up learning, like the word of God. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. We know those quotes, those African-American literature quotes, like we know scriptures, because it was indoctrinated into our brains. It was put there. So now I know that if I'm sitting here knowing that I could prevent Stephon's from ever happening again, and I'm not using my platform to actively prevent George Floyd's and Stephon's, Breonna Taylor's, Sandra Bland's, Kobe Friday, Michael Barrera, so on and so forth from ever happening again, I'm failing. Not just me, but the life and legacy of my dear brother, Stephon Alonzo Clark. May his name live in a positive life for generations and generations, long, long, long after you and I have left this earth. And I refuse to fail my dear brother. The people united can never be divided, right? Now I'm going to go to the what everybody want to talk about and what everybody should be talking about right now. There's a 14-year-old that was murdered by LAPD. You guys hear what I just said? That few days before Christmas, she was murdered. And I don't know if you guys know, but this happens every single day. And in America, of course. And I want to see what happens to those officers that fired into the room, into the Burlington Coat Factory, killing a 14-year-old girl. And after they killed this poor baby, the mother said she ran and screamed and started hugging her daughter and started praying. When the bullet hit, it threw us on the floor, she said. She said her daughter died in her arms. As she laid screaming for help, the police did not come to her help, and they eventually removed her from the dressing room and left Valentina alone. I wanted them to help, but they just left her alone. So they removed the mother. Oh, this is so sad. This is so sad. So they killed the baby. This is in LA. Okay. They killed the 14-year-old. And then after they assassinated her, they refused to help her. Okay. They refused to give her any aid. I want this, because they're going to say it was an accident. That's what they're going to say. I want this accident to be treated like how they're doing that truck driver out there in where was that at? The truck driver in Denver, Colorado. The Denver guy. That has to be the same type of accountability, even if it was an accident. That's why we say this is not justice, because his brakes failed. Boy, you knew what you were shooting. You shouldn't have went up in there shooting at a goddamn Burlington Coal Factory with no care for life, with no respect for life. You know, I love everybody. And if we don't come together, they're going to be able to kill 14-year-olds in Burlington factories and get away with it. If we don't come together, that family will never get justice. That family will never get accountability. If I'm just speaking, I ain't got y'all. I am SAC Foundation at Gmail. You got Hulu, you got Netflix, you got Spotify, you got Amazon and shit, but you ain't a member of the movement. How can you people give all this money to people that don't give a fuck about you, designer and all this stuff, but not want to help the movement survive? Huh? This is the Make-A-Wish Foundation around this damn thing. And you need to help these wishes come true. Don't you wish this shit stop happening from coast to coast, sea to shining sea, damn it? Don't you wish we could live? We will never be able to live as one on this land until we come together. Period. SAC 6. Y'all ready? Number 1, bridge the gap between law enforcement and at-risk communities. Before we bridge the gap between law enforcement and at-risk communities, we must bridge the gap between community and community. We cannot come together as one against them unless we come together as one, as a people, as a village. Number 2 is simple. Inform and educate on policy and legislative change. Inform means give facts. Educate means to give moral, social, or intellectual instruction. That's why we like to say inform and educate on policy and legislative change. Number 3 is to provide resources and healing spaces for those in need in our community. Because we believe, give a man a fish, his ass is going to eat for a day. But you teach him how to use that internet, his ass ain't going to never call you back. Believe me. Okay? So provide resources and healing spaces. You cannot have the resources without the healing spaces, like you cannot have the healing space without the resources. Okay? They go hand in hand. Don't just give me some job if you're not teaching me how to deal with this trauma. Don't just give me some money if you're not making sure I'm at therapy. God damn it, don't do it. The resources and the healing spaces go hand in hand. Number 4, commemorate the life and legacy of Stephon, George Floyd, Daunte Wright, Lewis Jr., who was rained down and shot dead. She never found out. Tracy, I got her right. She said she never found. I'm the mother of Lewis Jr. He was rained down and shot dead. I never found out why or what happened to my son as of yet. It's been 15 years since my son was assassinated. I'm still going. Changes with these detectives. Every time I look around, I have a new one, which means every time she's trying to ask questions, they switching detectives on the system. They just keep passing the case around like it's a game. Something needs to be done about our cold cases. I still hurt and cry with this hole in my heart. Sister, the Clark family sends love, healing, support, and solidarity. Make sure you message me. Whatever you need us to do on our end, we'll be there for you. Number 5 on our SAC 6 is to receive recommendations from you, the people, on how to prevent Stephon's from ever happening again. How do we prevent the George Floyds? I don't have all the answers. I'm not saying I got all the answers. The march is not going to be enough. But if you're not trying to help with the march, if you're not trying to help with actionable items, if you're not trying to give your time, if you're not trying to become a member of this movement, the hell with you. Block and unfollow me as well. Please. And thank you. Number 6 of the SAC 6. You guys know it. The golden rule of the golden gospel. Spread the gospel of love. John 15:12 says, love each other as I have loved you. If you skip down to John 15:18, he says, if the world hates you, know they hated me long before they ever hated you. Then golden rule. The golden gospel of our entire foundation of everything we do is to spread the gospel of love, ELE, which means everybody love everybody. Jesus says, John 15:12, love each other. That's my greatest commandment. Love each other. My greatest commandment is love. And when he says in 15:18, if the world hates you for it, know they hated me long before they ever hated you. Know that and take that to heart. Take that to heart. Love. Everybody love. I ain't gotta like you. Remember this too, because the love word gets thrown around a lot. Love is one of the most overused word, if not the most overused word in the dictionary. Okay. So when you think of love in that form, don't think of it as a word. When I say love, I mean, understand that these people got agendas. Understand these people are crooked. These people have prices. These people, a lot of people ain't shit, but that don't mean you don't have to love them. Okay? Love thy enemy. Love. March 18th is our Justice Accountability March. January 17th is our Martin Luther King dinner commemoration. January 9th, Law Enforcement Appreciation Day. We'll be sitting here at Stefan's with Jim Barnes. Let's go out there and spread the gospel of love. I love you all. Go to IamSackFoundation@gmail.com. And when you write the subject, write Mr. Clark or whatever, or the march, write March. And when you write the message, say, I want to help. And send me your time, your availability, your schedule, all that. But it's IamSackFoundation@gmail.com. Either you part of the movement, you're part of the moment. And don't wait till you have to be affected to join the movement. Because I hope and pray none of y'all got to meet Ben Crumpton and Al Sharpton one day. I hope and pray you ain't got to meet Al Sharpton and Ben Crump one day. In Jesus' name. So I love you all. Thank you all for joining me. I appreciate you guys on Instagram. They not let me use my official Stevante Clark one because of those kids I posted out there in Wheatland showing white symbol signs and Nazi signs and all that. So they kicked that. They stopped me from posting live. So the hell with Instagram. You know, I've seen a lot worse on Instagram. So Instagram, the hell with you. Everybody love everybody. Thank you all. Love and light. Let's come together. Go to IamSackFoundation@gmail.com. And please, please, please join the movement, not the moment. Love you.